this real smooth, real play. Some 5 heartbeat shit, you gotta shuffle your feet in the sand. Pretty hands type shit. I know you love me.
You know I love you, baby.
I know you need me.
You know I need you.
I know you want me.
You know
I know you love me.
You know
I know you love me. Yeah, I know you love me. I feel it when I'm in there. I know you love me. You prove it when I ain't there. I know you love me like Tiffany Jewels there. I know you love me by your stare. For others you don't care, and I'm unnecessary like that.
What up? Today we're gonna do something different. Today we're gonna talk about Nipsey Hussle, man. R.I.P. to the young king. R.I.P. to the young king. If this y'all first time watching, this is my wife Europina, and I'm El Chapo. So what's up, bro?
Hello, everybody.
You alright?
Yeah, you all right?
You sure?
Good.
I'm alright.
We just wanted to say we wanted to give our condolences to Laura London as well as Nipsey Hussle's family, and just stay strong because he don't always be with you.
That's right. And of
His
course,
spirit.
we want to talk about it. I would say I got hip to Nipsey Hussle probably about 6 years ago. When did you get hip to him?
I really can't remember exactly when. I just knew that he was always around Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
So
I remember when I first saw him, I was like, is that Snoop's son? Is Snoop got an illegitimate child out there that's grown for real, for real? That was around the time that his other son was getting ready to go play football at UCLA. But then I started checking him out, man, and I noticed that he had something different that everybody else ain't have. And that was, well, visually he had a different type of presentation. He had a different type of presentation. Looked like he put a lot of thought into it. He wanted to show a milder, softer, more luxurious style of life for a young individual living responsibly. I didn't see too much, what you see all the time, the typical norm where everybody in a strip club or, half-naked women all over the place. And I didn't really see all that in Nipsey Hussle, man. I saw a lot of class from a dude from the hood.
yeah.
A lot of
Who
class.
made it out and wanted to continue to keep it out.
That's right. He wanted to do something, man. And it's unfortunate that every time we as black people have somebody in a position
Doing good
that's
stuff.
doing good to try to make a difference for not only his community but for people of color as a whole. It's sad that when we have a person on a platform that has a voice that can, get people to move, they get deleted like that. As soon as you have a powerful presence and people are receptive towards you and you have the strength to make people move, i.e. Martin Luther King, i.e. Malcolm X, anybody that stood in the paint. Anybody that stood in the paint,
that made change.
Yeah, so like
Even like Tupac and
Pop. Anybody that's had a voice, a platform that can make us listen, that could cause some type of awareness to us, some type of independent growth within us, especially financially, because that's what he was doing, showing how to flip your money and make it work for you.
Right.
How to build corporations. He was hiring the hood, and he was hiring people that was coming home from jail that probably couldn't get a second chance. And
Giving people opportunity that would normally get opportunity.
he was blessing the neighborhood. He was blessed. He wasn't taken from it. You know what I mean? he might have been gaining from it, but he was pouring back into it at the same time. So it was a constant whirlwind of trade.
Right.
And yeah, man, it's just terrible.
Right.
It's terrible, you know.
Yeah, because I look at it like this. I feel like all other nationalities can actually come together and do stuff, but our community, there's always some kind of issue where we want to, because number one, we have trust issues. A lot of us do. A lot of us been hurt by people, so we feel like everybody's that same way. But we, as a whole, we need to come together because we're very strong people, and love is the key. We can intermingle with anyone. Love is the key. Like, we need to come back to what God originally brought us here on this earth to do, which is love.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes it's hard to love some of them people, because
Yeah.
I love God kids, but some of them get on my nerves.
You know what? I feel you on that.
No lie.
Man, I don't even want to go there. I'm not gonna talk against the children of God.
I'm not talking against them.
No, I'm talking about me because I'll go all the way there. No. I remember when I was thinking about doing another album, and the good Lord told me if it's disrespectful or downgrading to His people, He wasn't gonna bless it. I immediately walked out of the studio because I was about to snap on some situations that was going on in my life, and I thought about that energy. I thought about that. I also,
repercussion.
Yeah, the repercussion that could come back. One, because I've been warned, right? And then two,
Warning come before destruction.
yeah. And two, if I toss it out into the universe, it's gonna come back. And man, you know, even though things happen in God's own time and mysteriously right, and His perfect timing and way, a lot of things that do come though might be because we brought it on ourselves. That tongue, the power of the tongue.
Or could it be like He's trying to strengthen our spiritual muscles?
That could be too. You know, get you flexing to see who you gonna run to. You gonna run to Him or you gonna run to man? The closest one that you think they got the word, or is you gonna lean on the word and get down and talk to your
Because
Father?
you know what? I love Him so much. I love Him so much. I love you too.
I love
But
you.
I'm saying I love God so much.
Yeah.
And I love you so much too. But
You know what, babe? When I was coming up, when I fell in love with rap, I fell in love because of Rakim. You know what I mean? And when I became a teenager, I noticed that I could go a little bit, you know, with the rap, you know, and things like that. To the point where even me and my homeboys used to write little rhymes every Friday before a football game, and then we'll meet up after school and spit them things with each other. And I know I was bumping. I know I was going in. And you know, my life leaned into that area hard. I was a gangster rapper. Like y'all think y'all some gangsters. I feel like T.I. right now because I'm cut from that cloth. I come from that area. I feel like all of them out there, man, you know, when they get upset with the young generation, man, like, you guys have no clue, man. Like, I'm saying all of this to say this because I had a dream and I pursued it and ran after it, and I got to the point where I met a fork in the road where I had to make a decision, my crossroads. And along the way, man, I used to always get mad, man, because I knew I was cold, and everybody around me knew I was nice too, even though people wouldn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't tell you.
But that's okay. But back then, I'm talking about back then, you know what I'm saying, when it was like my heart, my passion, my everything, right? I rarely heard compliments, you know what I'm saying, but I always heard me coming out of somebody's speakers across this country. And I will tell you this, a lot of times I used to feel mistreated, you know what I mean, coming up in music, like with executives and on the form of business and stuff like that, and not knowing that God could have been shielding me from something while I was in my feelings, feeling like they were playing me out because they was in their emotions. God could have been steering them in that direction because he got a greater plan for me. Like, yeah, you might be able to go through this. I'm going to walk you all through this music industry. I'm going to walk you all through this country. I'm going to walk you on every stage that you can dream of. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you see everything. But I'm going to put it in your hands in the end once you gather the intel that I just showed you, right? And you make the decision which way you want to go. Once I saw what was happening, I knew that it was fully controlled by the enemy, the prince of the air. You dig what I'm saying? So while I was going through that, I was heartbroken when I had to make my decision at the crossroad to walk away. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I going to do now? I just spent 15 years getting there. What am I going to do now? Man, I was searching for another opportunity. I knocked at another door, Def Jam. Def Jam was going to let me up in there. And again, God was protecting me from another demon again and again.
I think I was just talking to my mother or somebody about that.
Hold on. Protected me from a demon again. Now, the whole time, I'm a gangster rapper. All this stuff that was flying from my tongue. Heck, I don't even know if I owe debt for some of the stuff that came off of my tongue on wax. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if like some of that stuff from way back when I was intoxicated and whatnot, making all this music that's coming from the depths of my soul emotionally. I don't know if any of that crap is gonna come back and haunt me. You know what I'm saying? Because I put it out in the atmosphere. Though I may not have seen anything come back from it yet, that don't mean it ain't making a lap. You see what I'm saying? It could be postponed.
Spare me, Lord. God bless my husband.
Feel me? I could be postponed. You know, it could be postponed because I'm doing the right thing. I'm walking a straight and narrow path in the way that God say. In the way that God say. So, you know what I'm saying? Even though that whirlwind, I know what death feel like when it's chasing you. So, you know, like, that's the moral of the story is, man, Brother Nipsey Hussle, man, was a wonderful guy. He had an awakening. He became better. He came up from rough beginnings, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how the world works and how things balance itself through good and evil, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, half of y'all don't even realize that everything physical ain't what it is. It's mostly spiritual that's going on around you, that's being triggered and manipulated. The beginning, everything started in a spirit. It didn't start in a physical. You dig what I'm saying? It started in a spiritual form. A spiritual form created everything that you see. And I'm not going to get on here and start preaching and stuff like that, man, because I don't want to lose none of y'all, because I know half of you still snoring. I'm going to say half of you snoring, the other 25% of you sipping on Infamil and Similac, and the other you ain't even been born yet. So I'm not even going to go there, but what I'm saying is it's a tragedy that Brother Nipsey went out that way, man. And
can I say
you never know,
now?
but you never know. What I'm saying is the thing is you never know, because what he might have done in his past or whatever might have been.
I look at it like this: we all have a start date,
That
which
too.
is to enter this world,
That
and
too.
we all have an end date, which is to go back to the Lord,
But
the Spirit.
it's also written that there are certain ways and things that you can do that will extend your years, and then there are certain things that you can do that will shorten your years. It's written. You dig what I'm saying?
It's written, but we don't know everybody's journey and when God felt as though this is the time, that the end of that journey.
But everything, that's what I'm saying, everything is permissible through God. Everything is permissible through God. He gave you the blueprint, the rule book, the almanac. Bless you, Europe. I'm talking. Bless you, Europe.
Yeah.
He gave you everything that you needed,
too.
but if you go against it, then things can happen. It makes me, like, it woke me up again, because I spent quite some time being a hermit, and then I just finally started sticking my head out for this last year, and it almost want to make me stick my head back in and just stay around you, because you don't know. I'm in an industry right now where everybody's smiling like they're your friend. You know what I'm saying? And you never know.
I'm not even going to touch on that type of subject, because you already know how I feel. But what I do want to say is, you know, like I'm not gonna go into detail, but I was talking to my mother about something, And I told her, I said, at the end of the day, when something do not happen the way you think it should happen, praise the Lord, because he is sparing you. He's saving you from a situation that you, if he did not clear your path to help you along your journey, you end up in a hot mess. You'll end up in a situation you don't know how the hell you got there, because you are there going off on a detour sign or what's the merge this way. No, you keep going the way the Lord wants you to go, because at the end of the day, who you think don't want you to get to where it is the Lord want you to be?
I tell you what.
Who it is?
What they know. They know.
So he gonna do anything, use anyone, lust, any type of temptation you have deep rooted in your heart. He gonna use everything to try to get you off course and not listen to the Creator, so that you can fulfill the calling upon your life that he placed upon you while you was not even in your mother's womb at the time when he placed this calling upon your life. Think about that. He gave you that calling before he even placed you in your mother's womb, because he knew you before he placed you in the womb. Wake up, y'all. Get it together. We got so much that we have to do.
Man, what you said. We ain't gonna do nothing though, man, until we can learn how to put the pieces together as a people. Stop being so jealous. I know hard times bring hard measures, and hard times can make people jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see somebody else that had the same hard time as you, and then they life changed overnight, and you stuck in yours, and you get in your feelings about that and treat people all out of order and stuff. Man, everybody got a measurement on this earth that they got to carry around and deal with, man. And just because they got served their cup, that don't mean it's going to last for the rest of their life. You dig what I'm saying? Though they got to drink it, your cup might still be getting cleaned. Your cup might still be getting filled. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I was thinking the other day? I was thinking, I believe we were talking about something, or either it was me or one of my coworkers. We was talking about how things that have happened in your childhood affect you as an adult. And as you're that adult, you still try to learn yourself, learn the system, learn your journey, just learn all these different things, like juggling balls, right? And then at the same time, there's something that constantly haunts you from when you was a kid that you have to battle off, on top of all the other spirits and stuff that you got to battle off on a regular basis.
And that you've been collected
because
along the way.
This is called spiritual warfare.
That you've been collected along the way.
And so, So I'm like, how you can conquer these things? Or were those things supposed to take place to help for you to be the person you are? Like, all those people mishandle me and stuff to where I have trust issues, right? So because of that, I'm very in tune with my discernment and listen to my discernment placed by the Lord. And he'll let me know if I should deal with those people or not. It could be certain people calling me. If he tell me don't answer that phone, I'm not going to answer the phone. If he tell me pick up the phone, I pick up the phone. If he say call this person, I call that person. He ordered my steps. But if I would have been like how I really was before he opened up my eyes, I began hurt over and over and over and over and over again, because I'd be gullible and all this other stuff. What's names? Gullible,
Weak.
People pleaser, doormat, whatever.
Rump kisser.
I wasn't a rump kisser. I never kissed nobody but now. You better stop. I never kissed nobody
Rump
but.
kisser.
I never kissed nobody but.
You would have turned into an African behind scratcher.
Can I get this out? Those lights
Make you glow. Them lights make you glow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got grown before I realized, man, that I was grown before I realized that you gotta watch how you move with people. And
That's that melanin, y'all.
You gotta watch how you move with people. You gotta watch how much space and length you give people with you, and in your personal space.
You do.
You gotta be aware of the things you accept from people.
What? Let me tell you something. That's another reason why I don't play when it comes to him. I don't play when it comes to my children. I don't play when it comes to any of my loved ones, because let me tell y'all something. That spiritual warfare is real. I've had dreams that pre-warn me. I've had things that actually have happened in the natural. Talk about snakes being shown and everything.
Yeah, and look, we the type of people that like operate from our hearts. I'm a little more open and a little more welcoming, though I'm always seeing things than she is. Because this just me, I believe in treating people how I want to be treated until you jack up. She believe in watching you all the way through until she feel comfortable enough to open up with you a little bit more. We different, but it works, right? Because you ain't getting over on me because you think I'm smiling. I'm just making you comfortable so you can stop playing and take that mask off. I can go and get with you already, you know. But
yeah, because we already know the truth.
we know the truth. But, you know, the thing, like I said, it makes me not so upset that I can look around and see nobody around me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need a crowd.
Like that song Drake. That song Drake. What's the song? He said, "It ain't lonely at the top."
Oh, yeah, going bad. So, yeah.
What's that lyric? That thing is on point. When I heard that other, I was like, "Oh my God!" I said, "God already preparing us for the top, because it ain't lonely up there."
I ain't lonely up there.
We ain't lonely now.
We ain't lonely now. Show
And
me
our
if
phone never rings.
It never rang. And that's all good.
Because it's awesome.
I enjoy the fact. Actually, you can ask my wife. I like quietness. I like peace anyway. So I'm glad that this phone don't jump like it used to. That just shows that we have rearranged our lifestyles, and we have the right to do so. But to bounce back to Nipsey, man, like on the tip of awareness, man, I just want to say to everybody out there, man, my father told me something one time, man, and when I saw this Nipsey thing happen, man, it resurfaced in my heart. You know, it resurfaced in my heart. My father told me, keeping it too real will get you killed. And where I come from Memphis, Tennessee. So, like, when you young and when you a kid, and you're not keeping it real, and you get caught up in your lies and all that stuff, talking down behind folks' back and stuff, you get beat up.
Put your mouth on folks?
Yeah, you get beat up, you get stomped out. Then when you grow up, when you get 18 and up, and you get caught up in that stuff, they just go ahead and murk you. So, you know, at an early age, we learn early to just be direct, be honest, and to keep it real. If you don't want no conflict, if you don't want to be fighting people and all this stuff, because we know misery love company, people will gas up a fight. This was before cell phone, bro, and all that. You know, people would just be crowding around. They might have time to run in the house and get on the house phone and call everybody around the corner like, oh, they about to throw down, you know, you better hurry up. And then you see people running. Now, it's like Facebook is going down at this time. Uber and people is pulling up if they ain't already there, just that quick.
Already waiting.
Already waiting. You know, so like to bounce back to it, I'm cool with being very thin.
Me too.
with outsiders. My grandma was right. Even though that was a hard woman to grow up around, man, she was right. She used to tell me, you don't need a lot of friends. You got family. And then she said, you your own best friend, and here's why. Because you will never let you down.
Right.
You do what I'm saying? So when we become wealthy, guess what? We don't have to feed a whole hood. You see what I'm saying? That's been running and walking with us and
But we will give back.
no. But I'm saying we ain't gonna have that responsibility, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't have people around us. Like when I was coming up, I've been in many sections with many different people throughout my time in music, and there was a time when there was several people around, many times over, many different situations where they was just around for the perks. They didn't want to put in the work. You see what I'm saying? You do all the doggone work and then you blow up, and then that's because they was there. They expect to hold on and ride with you to the
Those
top.
are people who have hidden agendas. That's why it's very important to not only have a personal relationship with the Lord, but pray for His discernment.
Yeah.
He will help you understand.
And you know the crazy part is, even though the Lord allowed me to walk through underground music, independent artist music, and professional music arenas, environments, situations, and stuff like that, and He allowed me to walk out debt free with no attachment to it and no type of harm or anything. You gotta wonder, like, if He let me walk through all those stages and all those levels, and then He gave the decision to me and He gave me the gift, what is His real plan like?
But that don't mean that it's done.
Yeah, I know, and
because we already talked about this before.
It's done as long as I make it done. You see what I'm saying? Because He gave the gift to me. I didn't ask for it. And that gift burns inside of me every day. But that experience that I went through makes me stand back and focus on something a little more solid, that's less controlled by a human.
Well, all I know is what the Lord is about to do.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop it.
So we're just going to stand back and wait on that. But at the same time,
that don't mean we're just gonna be sitting on the couch waiting for something to fall in our lap. We still gonna be making.
We're gonna always be working.
What
when we are blessed, we will bless others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's a dope feeling to know that our blessing started within family.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it's gonna run through family. You know what I'm saying?
Across the street.
What's across the street?
I just want to get Starbucks drink.
Hey, I gotta go take my wife over here to get some Starbucks. Happy wife, happy life, fellas. Right. Happy wife, happy life. Before we go though, man.
Husband, happy home as well.
Yes. Before we go, man.
It's not 50-50, it's 100-100.
Before we go.
Right, babe?
We want to send our condolences out to all of those that were affected by that murder, man. I hope that...
Tell them what happened the day before it happened, babe.
Well, I saw some videos, man. This going to take this out a little bit longer then. I saw this video, man, where they saying that, I think it was a Davies Breakfast Club, or Funk Master, whoever video he was on, I think it was Funk Master Flex. And it was talking about Nip, and they was talking about the guy that, this was before the police called him, that the guy used to be a close friend, and then turned out he was an informant. He was a snitch, and he was a well-known snitch around the way. And he was up there parlaying on the lot, you know what I'm saying, whatever, whatnot. And he got checked, you know, like, not on no vicious tip, but on some cool, laid back, you know, like, what's going on? You know, you can't be up here, you hot type, you know. And dude left, came back, opened fire. That's like a never-ending story in my life.
See, I was talking about when I was on YouTube. Then we saw the video with both of them pop up about the questions that he asked her, and then that's when we found out the next day.
Yeah, just the day before the murder, right? Mm-hmm. Him and Laura had that video out where they was doing the question and answer about how well they know each other.
Well,
that man knew the heck out of her.
Yeah, he loved her.
That man, yeah, he loved her.
And she loved him, and he loves her, and they in love.
And this man, this snitch, this informant, he got upset because he got checked and came back and took a life.
So bad, but I'm big.
How does that sound? How does that sound when you know you a snake? That's what people see. People don't like to be told what they are when they already know what they are. When you know see in the hood, it's a G code. And if you still in the hood, you gotta abide by that if you call yourself being out there. And you know you a snake, you know you broke the G code.
I don't deal with no snakes.
And especially snitching, you know, when I was coming up, they said snitching get stitches and found in ditches. Well, they done skipped over the stitches now. It's straight to the ditch. So how is you still in the hood, still coming outside, knowing who you are?
All I know is they pray to keep doing good to others so you can get that back in return. And always do the right thing, no matter who do something wrong to you. Always do the right thing because God is in control.
You don't kill nobody. You don't kill nobody because you mad because somebody told you the truth about yourself when you know you are a snitch. You know you can't be around here because you're going to make it hot for us. I may still got love for you, but we can't kick it like that no more if we in the hood. You can't be up here on this property. People going to think I'm dealing with you. People ain't got codes of ethics in the hood a lot of times. Like, they just assume and then they attack.
This doesn't make sense.
You can't. That's what a lot of people get killed by, these bozos, by these weirdos, because truth hurts them. You can't stand to be told what you are when you already know what you are. You a buster. I don't even know the homie. I hope this YouTube make it to him. You a buster. Kodak Black.
Babe.
You a disrespectful buster too. And somebody should take that strip of cowhide from around their waist and tan your hide until you raw. That's what this generation missing. Y'all ain't get what we got coming up. Don't nobody forget no whooping in the streets or in the house by your grandmama or your mama. Don't nobody forget no whooping. That's what this millennial generation missed out on. They ain't had a fear of God in their parents. There was a Christmas a little while ago, you know, back in Memphis. I was living there. Not even 2 years ago, where these millennial kids go up inside the mall and shoot it up, fighting with each other.
It was during a holiday, wasn't it?
It was like right Christmas.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about they
Yeah.
were on a break.
Yeah. You know, at that moment, at that time, I knew that somewhere in America, a couple of fathers should be getting the mystery machine warmed up and every man piled up inside of it with a belt and just tour every mall in your town every Saturday. Take a tour of every mall in your town every Saturday, and every young millennial male that you see out of order in the mall, do what they daddy and mama won't do. Fire them up with that leather, man. That's what came out of my mouth back then, and I was wholeheartedly for it because I'm a firm believer of discipline, and I ain't being talked too crazy by no young yap, no young yan. I'm not getting disrespected by no child because he ain't got no upbringing, ain't got no manners, and feel like he know everything. That's what's wrong with him. You disrespect this man, Kodak Black. You disrespect this man, household. You disrespect this man, wife. You disrespect this man's. This man got a son. This man got a son, you know what I'm saying? You don't know if he's old enough. I know my kids very young when they learn how to manipulate iPads and go to YouTube and stuff like that. And they know their daddy name if they see it pop up on the screen, even though they might not know how to spell it at a very young age. You don't know, and he got to go online and see you talking this shit.
Babe. You gotta turn it up.
No, he disrespectful.
I'm just saying.
You disrespectful, bro. You disrespectful, man. You over here trying to pitch woo on the cool subliminally at a man's wife that ain't even been gone a week. And you know, I would just try to be the best person I could be to her. If she, I could be somebody that she could call. You know, I know she gonna need a few years to mourn. Man, what are you talking about, bro?
I didn't see it.
I saw it, and that's what had the game snapping. That's what had T.I. snapping. You know, like, what's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with y'all?
People need to get it together because at the end of the day, the things that they worry about is irrelevant. The things that they should be worried about, they don't. It's almost kind of love. It's almost kind of like this, babe. Love, like what is it? Hate is the new. No, not hate. Lies.
No, fake is the new
yeah,
real.
That's it.
Fake is the new real.
And real is the new fake.
That's a lie. Real always been real.
That's what they.
Yeah, real always been real.
Real gonna be real.
Real just ain't welcome. Real just ain't welcome around you yellow bellies. You yellow bellies. Yeah, because you ain't from the country, the deep south where we still swing knuckles. Yellow bellies, that means the more cowards, the more sissies.
Okay, baby. Here
them
we
punks.
Go.
That's what we used to call them back in the day. You yellow belly sapsucker. My kids millennials. My kids millennials. You know how much of it is of a fight to get clarity with them and their thought process to try to get through to them sometimes because they stuck in this mind frame.
And if y'all watching, we love you.
Yeah, I love them.
And keep praying because.
No, yeah, I love them.
We pray for y'all
but sometimes I wonder.
We pray for y'all every day.
Sometimes I wonder though, but you know, sometimes kids can't see past their nose.
Well, you was the same way. That's probably why you had spanking every day.
I got spanked a lot, but I listened. And guess what?
Well,
guess what? Those
spanking.
No, I listened while I got fussed at, and when I got spanked for still acting. Guess what? Nobody forgets a whooping. It made me think before I act. Even though I was a rebellious child growing up, I thought before I act because I knew that switch, that extension cord, that wire on the back of the iron was waiting on me at the house. And my grandma had endurance. This can go for an hour, you know.
She'll spank you for an hour.
What? You think she had biceps like Hulk Hogan? I ain't never tired. Flex it on you like she gets some exercise.
Hey, we gotta go. It's 37 after.
All right, we about to go, man. Before we dip though, my baby getting real nice with them nails, man. Y'all need to get on board. Look at this.
Oh, let me tell y'all something. Look. Where's the camera?
Right.
Oh.
Can you see? It's the lemonades. It's the lemonades, y'all. Get you some green leaves and lemons on your nails, man.
Look, let me tell you something. When I was doing these nails, guess what I was thinking the whole time? I was like, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade and put some cherries in it.
You gonna put cherries on it next time? On the tip, like it's hanging out the glass?
No, I'm talking about in real life too. Like make the lemonade that life throw you with those lemons, right? Make you some lemonade and put some cherries with the stems on it.
That's how I go down in her world now. In my world, check this out. When life throw a glass bottle of real lemon juice at you, you know the green bottle with the yellow top, you catch it. and you take that whole bottle and you pour it in a gallon jug, a pitcher, and get you about 2 or 3 cups of sugar, and dump in there with that, and fill the rest of the water and stir it up. When life throw you real lemon juice in a glass bottle that could knock you out, you make ghetto lemonade out of it, just like I told you here. Just like I told you. You ever heard of that? Ghetto lemonade. Real lemon juice, sugar, and water. Ghetto lemonade, that's straight out of Chicago. Anybody that's in Chicago, they know what's happening now. They know what's happening. So with that being said, we love y'all. Also, shout out to Babylus. Shout out to Babylus Pro, man. If you're a barber out there, man, if you're a cosmetologist out there, man, and you're dealing with shears and you're dealing with clippers and you're cutting hair any type of way, razor blade, you might be sharpening a stick and cutting hair. You might be cutting hair with, a piece of your hair. I done been in some situations where I done cut hair and the person's hair jump off and stab me like porcupines. Needles.
I remember those days.
So like,
that ain't fun.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you're looking for a good comb out there, let's say you gotta do some clip over comb and you gotta do some shear over comb, some scissor over comb work, man. This one right here, man, this right here gonna help you with that good fade work right here, help you get deep down in there in that fade corner where you can't reach it right there, let the help out of that line, how to cut you some, get you some in your life. Now get up, get out and get you some. This one right here, this right here, good detailer right here. This just a regular comb right here that you can use, like you can stroke that thing like you want to, you know what I'm saying? If you're dealing with the full bulk of the hair, like say from the parietal ridge on up, occipital bone on up to the apex, man, you can use this right here to get a decent grip about it. But this right here identifies with getting that fade clean. Now this right here, this the doozy right here. This what sold me on this. This is the most sturdiest cutting comb that I have used in my career.
Use that for my girl.
Right. And not only is it long, but it's wide. That means you can cover up the whole side of your head with this joker. Hold on, can I get it right? You can cover up the whole side of your head with this joker right here. And in one swipe, that could take your cut time down a little bit for those y'all out there still doing this, trying to get your fade to come out.
Babe, stop that.
And you're all over the place trying to scrape your line out.
Man, everybody's different. Don't do that.
And this is what I'm saying. These are hot dog combs out there, man. These are hot dog combs. Also, if you're looking for a clipper that go hard, man, look, I used to be an Andy's Masters, man, ever since the 90s. I done did Walls, I done did them all, man. Osters, I done did them all, man. Until I got my hands on a pair of Babylus.
Which I had mentioned it.
She mentioned it. I got my hands on a pair of Babylus Gold Effects clippers.
He didn't listen when I mentioned it, but when somebody else mentioned it.
Nah, nobody's mentioning. The signs kept showing itself. The name Babylus kept popping up everywhere that I was looking at, online, in real life, and everything. Mm-hmm. So I started asking other barbers their opinions.
Yes,
and then I heard what I wanted to hear. But my wife did tell me that when she was going through school and when she came out, it was all Babylus everything, and she was thoroughly impressed. But I went and got that clipper with that Ferrari motor in it. Not only can I hear every last strand of hair getting cut individually, but it slices through it like a hot knife through butter, wet or dry. Wet or dry, do you hear me? So, don't believe me, ask my dog Timbuktu. I let him cut a head with my pair of Babylus. The next week he had them in his hands. So, telling you barbers out there, get you some Babylus combs in your life, Jack, and put them monkey clippers down that you've been using, them things, and go out there and spend some and do something right by your client. And also, lastly, because I talk to my clients, they tired of being treated like it's a trap house. The clients out here tired of being treated like it's an assembly line, like you just getting them in and out and getting their bread and giving them an old half-tail service and appearance. Guess what? I can name about 7 people right now if we lay our hands on your client's head like we do all the time, because they come to us and say, I went to this shop. I ain't gonna shame nobody. I ain't gonna shame nobody. If you don't tighten up, I can name about 7 of us that's about to hit these streets within the next month. And if your client sit in our chair, they'll never be in your chair again. The moral of the story is, like Grandma used to say, take pride in your work. Finish what you start. If you're going to start it, finish it. And this also goes with faith. If you put your faith in the Most High, you don't have to hustle and trap people in and out to get a quick dollar. Anything earned quick don't last long. Hold on that. Anything earned quick don't last long. Anything earned quick don't last long. Quality always stands out over quantity. And that's the motivation and inspiration for the day. I love you guys. I thank you guys. Forgive me for getting upset, man, but I'm a man that loves my wife. And if something, Lord forbid, was to happen to me unexpectedly, and people around me know that I got a wife, and they try to impose upon her in her time of mourning, or even insinuate or make any type of things like that, you know, I would feel completely disrespected if I was to be alive and able to say that to your face. And I hope that those that are around me that would have gotten wind of it would stand up on top of that for me, just like they are standing up on top of that for Nipsey Hussle, man. It burns me up when I see a man act less than such. You ain't got to have all the money in the world. You just got to have a heart, and you got to have a pair. If you get my drift, you got to have a heart, and you got to have a pair. And you got to be aimed in the right direction spiritually, and the rest will take care of itself. I can't stand no mouse for no man, no sucker. I can't stand no sucker. Father, forgive that guy, for he know not what he do. And Lord, I pray that Nipsey Hussle has done enough to earn his crown within your heavenly gates. I pray that he has his mansion. He's already had to sit down at the table meeting in heaven and got his mansion and sign off on it. So all he got to do is wait on the rest.
And he's going to continue to watch over his wife and his children and his loved ones.
That's right. I pray we get together as a people though one day, man. Starting with all this violence, starting with pride, put it all down.
We want to thank God for having, what happened at the West Coast and the West Coast with the gang members.
Shout out to the police department out there too.
Them coming together.
Shout out to the Bloods and the Crips for calling the truce, man, and meeting up in the middle.
Seeing that life is more important than
extending the works of this young man right here. He wanted to see peace. He wanted to see people come together and work together and earn money honestly with each other. Earnest money honestly with each other. And shout out to that police department out there that put his picture up on all the buildings with the projector light, and played his music out in memory of him and stuff like that. That's dope. That's moving. That's respect. Something that half these jitterbugs don't know nothing about out here.
Babe, here we go, because you about to go into a whole nother spill.
I'm hot.
I know, babe, but we can do a part 2.
I'm hot as South Florida right now.
We can do a part 2.
We'll be back. Peace. Love. And hair grease.
Love y'all.
And young whippersnappers, man. You need that good old strap across your tail, and that's what you need. Love y'all, man. Need to spank the heck out of some youngins.